but look at what they feeding y'all. That's what's really killing us. Please.
Welcome everybody. Welcome to the page. Bobby Smith. I'm honored today to have epic image and guy and person in the health-based community, Shane Sterling. Man, how you doing today?
I'm excellent, Bobby. Hello. Thanks for having me on, and hello to everyone who is listening today. I hope we can have a good conversation, get into some nitty-gritty, down and dirty. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it then. Well, for everybody who haven't been introduced to Shane, or who are not aware of his presence in the community, Shane, if you want to just give a little brief description or a little background about yourself for my people.
Okay, I'm a raw vegan. I have been for 6 years. That means I don't eat cooked food. I eat raw food, fruits, vegetables, raw nuts and seeds, and sprouts. Okay, and I've been mostly vegan all of my life, like 34 years, mostly vegan. So my vegan journey, avoiding animal products, has led me to raw food. The healthier I get, then the more focused I am on mastering a plant-based diet, the more it has led me to raw food. Now, after years of being a raw foodist myself, I help others. I'm a detoxification specialist and coach. So I share a lot of what I know on my social media channels. I'm Raw Vegan Rising on YouTube and Instagram. And that's where I basically share everything I know. Now, people will sign up for my program to get support with their detoxes. And that's really what I do. I support people with getting the sludge and the slime and the waste and the plaque and biofilms out of the body, because if we're eating the wrong foods, we might think we feel good. We might think we feel healthy, but really we have a very subpar quality of life, and we don't even realize what's possible. So what I share, what I teach, and what I talk about is how to help people up out of the middle ground, the mediocre results, and into a whole new paradigm of health and healing for themselves. And you got to feel it to believe it. Detoxification, cleaning our body, is the way to improved health and just a miraculous quality of life.
Beautiful. A lot of good work. What made you start your raw vegan journey 34 years ago?
I wanted to be in control of myself and essentially get out of the matrix, the food matrix, processed food, meat, dairy, controlled by big pharma and these big companies like GMO producing companies like Monsanto that produce chemicals for major industry agriculture. I didn't want anything to do with that. I wanted to eat natural and help my body feel good and basically just kind of experience a higher vibration. So by avoiding animal products, I feel that's the best, quickest, easiest way to feel a higher vibration. Because I'll tell you, the animals are perpetually bred into existence and then confined and then killed, and then we eat that. And that cycle is not a healthy cycle. That doesn't help us. It's not good for our mind and our consciousness. So when we remove ourselves from that, we can kind of it's like peeking your head up, out of the sand for the first time, maybe in your whole life. It feels like you're looking at the world for a whole new way. And this is what I call waking up out of the matrix. So for me, this was a way I could be a sovereign spiritual individual where I knew I was in control of myself, my thoughts, my destiny. I wasn't easily manipulated by Domino's commercials on TV or the junk food at the grocery store. I resisted that. My vegan practice as a teenager was to just kind of get a handle on how to resist junk food. And so for many years, I just focused on making food at home. I would make my own bread. I made my own almond milk. And this was back in 1990 when that stuff wasn't available in the store. There was no almond milk in the store in 1990. Nobody can believe that now in today's world where it's like cases full of plant milks. But I was doing it all at home, DIY style, because I just wanted to avoid the mainstream. To be honest, I'll just put it bluntly. I don't like the mainstream. I don't like anything about it. I don't like celebrity culture. I don't like the mainstream food culture. I don't like the way they want us to think. I don't like the pharmaceutical drugs. I don't like doctors. I don't like the education system, the military industrial complex. I don't like any of it. So instead of just hating the system and hating the world and feeling oppressed and afflicted by all that crap, I just said, I'm going to do it different. I'm going to actually be a positive light in all of this crazy darkness. And so being a vegan, that's my light. That's my light. I'm clear, man. I'm clear. I'm focused on the right path, the spiritual higher vibrational path. And therefore, it doesn't matter what chaos ensues around me. I'm going to be a beacon of truth and hope, at least for myself, if not others around me.
Damn, that's inspirational. That sound like how I began my journey, and what inspired me to. You know what I'm saying? Like being a higher vibrational being, reaching spirituality points that I never reached and shit. So that's inspirational. So like you said, cause you wanted to step into a higher vibration. What do the food do for the people? Like my people, we stuck on a lot of the looking the wrong way at the wrong things, but how does the food help you and get you focused on the right path?
Okay, so what we put in our body is really fundamental to our entire consciousness and what we experience and how we think and feel. So let's just take the cooked foods and processed foods and say fast food and junk food. Okay, those are filled with toxins that are going to affect our brain and also slow us down, slow our digestive system and slow our blood, slow our bowels, slow our lymphatic system. So the body literally has to slow down, and it has to actually work slower and not as efficiently, and it makes our body struggle. Okay, now let's take raw fruits and vegetables and raw nuts and seeds. Our body knows exactly what to do with these foods, in and out quickly. It's fast thinking, it's fast paced. It fuels the cells in our body with electrons, because the enzymes in raw food bring electrons into the cell. So literally, we're made of cells, right? The raw foods energize the cell. And so when our cells are filled with minerals and enzymes and hydration, then what happens? Well, then our mind starts to clear and our thoughts start to clear. So instead of having anxiety or being burdened by certain thoughts or stress, we actually kind of maybe break through to a new plateau of thinking where we might see a bigger picture. We might see a better solution. We might see a broad overview of how things are working instead of getting caught in the details and the struggle and the stress of life. We might see a bigger path for ourselves. So that's what's happened to me. I always go to the higher octave. I'm always looking for a way to you solve a problem from a different level. They say it was Albert Einstein that said you can't solve a problem from the same level that the problem was created. So if we're trying to be in the details of our life and trying to figure out how do we make more money, how do we feel better, how do we lose weight, how do we have a better job, how do we take care of our kids better, all these questions, we're not going to solve it by being in that questioning. It's like the rat race for our mind. That's the slave matrix in the mind. Instead, we fuel our body with simple, high vibrational, raw living foods, and it brings our whole awareness up. It brings it up to where it's like looking out over a mountaintop, like a vista from a mountaintop. You can just see everything from up there. And it gives you, oh, look, I take that path. Like that's the quickest way to get where I want to go. That's what it's like. There's physiological processes to why this happens. For one, simple carbohydrates are our body's preferred fuel source. Our body will celebrate simple carbohydrates. Rejoice. Our body loves fruit, whole food carbohydrates, but not sugars, not processed carbohydrates, not hamburger buns or fast food, not any of that junk food. Our body doesn't want that. But whole food carbohydrates just allow our body to operate at a very efficient level. It's like putting high octane fuel in the sports car. If you put cooking oil in your Ferrari, it's not going to run good, But if you put that high octane pure fuel in there. It's going to rev and be off to the races. That's what raw food is like. It gives us the rev to the next level because our body isn't burdened by sludge and slime and plaque and mucus and toxins, and it's not slow and trying to eliminate, it's like I don't even sleep as much as I used to. I sleep like 6 hours a day as a raw vegan because my body doesn't need to detox during sleep. It's one reason why we sleep so much. We go to sleep tired, we wake up tired, we need 10 hours of sleep to try to recuperate. This is because our body is detoxing during sleep. Well, guess what? If you don't have any detox to do during sleep, you don't even need sleep. It makes me more efficient, more effective, more capable. I can recover from exercise and workouts better. I have more energy through the day. I can focus, and it just helps me look and feel good. So I haven't mentioned yet, but I'm 50, and most people my age look like my dad or my granddad. Seriously. I go to the gym here in my area, and I stand next to some of the guys my own age, and it's just, I try not to tell them my age because I know it'll, be confrontational or make them feel bad or something. But I get into conversations that I try to avoid talking about how old I am because it's like a different paradigm. People don't really believe I'm 50. A lot of the time people think I'm in my late 20s, so this is because I've been focused on whole raw food a lot of my life and a plant-based diet almost all of my life. So yeah, it makes a difference.
Let me ask you this. So, you eat all fruits, you eat all vegetables. What you think about, how do we get there though? Is it important about seedless, seeded, parasites, all this stuff that they spray on the fruits and all that? Is all of that, what do that mean? Is it a big difference between seeded and seedless fruits? All of that, how you get there?
It's a great question. I think I like to simplify everything down. Okay, so it's really complex to think about how do we get there? Do I avoid seedless fruits or should I only go for this or that? Forget all that. Forget about what you think you should do or what you've heard from other sources. I just say, just eat whole food. Eat whole food. Food that isn't cooked or that isn't processed in any way. Now, some of the fruits might be hybrid, but hybridization of fruits is normal. Okay, it's not bad at all. It's bees hybridize fruits from just cross-pollinating flowers on the trees. Hybridization is normal, but GMO is where the confusion comes in. And GMO is genetically modified organisms, and this is done by big evil companies that are trying to inject chemicals into the DNA of these plants. That has nothing to do with seedless fruits. Seedless fruits are completely healthy and normal. And for the average person, before you become highly aware and educated on this topic, all you got to do, how you get there, is detox your body. A detoxification lifestyle is simply avoiding the processed foods, which is where all that GMO crap is anyway, and just focus on organic fruits and vegetables if possible. Even if you can't afford organic, just get good quality produce from the store. Eat fruits, oranges, apples, bananas, grapes, the basics, and little by little, your body will detox out so much of the toxins and the waste and the biofilms that are in the veins and the lymph and the bowels that it just gives you that extra edge to feel like you could even understand the next level. So when people ask me, how do you become raw vegan? The first step, the absolute next step that you have to take to experience a better quality of life through your diet is to cleanse the body, detox the body, rehabilitate the digestive system. And what I talk about and promote for most people is to start with a juice fast. So you cut out all your solid food and you just make fresh juices and drink those for 40 days. And what that does is it allows the body to focus on elimination. So when you're eating food all the time, your body is focused on digesting. Okay. But when you stop digesting, your body focuses on elimination. And when your body focuses on elimination, magic happens. Because if we don't ever fast, if we never take a break from digesting, we really get burdened and bogged down. This is where adrenal problems come from, fatigue problems come from, weight problems come from. It comes from never giving our body a break from digestion. So we do that by feasting on fresh, raw, living juices, green juice, fruit juice, grapefruit juice, orange juice, pineapple juice. You make it fresh right there, and all of a sudden your body is eliminating. And then the slime starts coming out, crazy stuff comes out, parasites come out. So we don't need to focus on parasite cleansing, liver flushes, kidney flushes. None of that is what we want to focus on. We just want to focus on cleaning the bowels out, because then the body can naturally detox all that stuff out. Then the parasites are going to come out of the liver and the bowels automatically, because you've created a terrain inside of the body that's not hospitable for these parasites. Because what do the parasites eat? If you got parasites in your liver, what do they eat? They eat, they're eating the junk foods and the sugars and the processed carbs and all these things that aren't fully digested, waste particles, waste material. If you're just drinking fresh juices and raw living foods, there's no waste. Those parasites are going to die off naturally. So that's why I say bring it back to the simple form first. The simplest form of health is to just detox, take it out of the body. It's not what you're putting in. We don't need to supplement with like all these things like sea moss. I just had a guy just email me right now saying, please promote sea moss on your channel. We'll pay you money to promote sea moss. And while nutrient dense supplements can be helpful in ways, I don't promote that. I'm a big no to that, because the pathway is removing crap out of our life. And I would say 9 times out of 10, even 99 out of 100 times, it's what you don't put in your body that matters most, rather than what you do put in your body. And everybody's hung up on supplements and superfoods and what green blend can I buy and what superfood can I buy, because it's easy to buy a product. It's a lot harder to actually remove toxic foods from our life, to focus on cleansing, to focus on fasting, removing all that garbage out of our life. That's actually really hard, and much harder than buying a supplement and thinking that's going to make you healthy. And the other problem with supplements is that it creates imbalance in your chemistry. And all of a sudden you take a supplement and you could be making the problem worse. Mm-hmm. And I'd say most of the time supplements do not help us and are not beneficial and get in the way of our understanding of the simple truth, which is fruit, fasting, and detoxification is the path to health and higher consciousness.
Facts. Now, the problem I think is what you said in there 40 days of juicing. You made it sound like it was super easy. Like, just do 40 days of juicing. Most motherfuckers ain't doing 40 days of juicing. So how do you get to that point? What's your advice on telling somebody how to start 40 days of juicing when somebody can't even stop eating hot dogs?
Are we talking? How many people listening right now cannot resist the hot dog? Come on, let's see it, right? Let's see a show of hands. Who's addicted to the hot dogs?
Hey, you'll be surprised.
So I generally talk to people who are a little more advanced along their understanding of healthy foods. Generally, that's who I am talking to. Facts. If I'm talking to someone who can't even give up a hot dog for a day, or maybe they have like a weight issue and a food addiction problem, I would say the 40 days is about intervention. It's about saving your life at that point. Like, how bad do you want to live and how bad do you want to thrive? So then the question is, what's your vision? A vision drives our choices, not what we should do. It's what we must do. Do we have to survive? Do we have cancer, diabetes, or obesity? Like, what is driving our motivation? If you've got a health problem and you're on death's door, 40 days is pretty easy. Come on, let's put it into perspective there. So if you have got terminal cancer, a 40-day juice fast is going to turn that around, save your life. No problemo. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if we think we're healthy and we're just struggling with some irritating health problems and we don't really know what to do or what the right path is, then are you going to be motivated? Probably not. The number one way we go from where we are to where we want to go is vision in our mind, like seeing a picture. Like we literally just imagine a picture in your brain of what you want. If you want to be healed, healthy, whole, inspired, lose weight, what is it? Hold the vision in your mind. And then the universe starts to organize around that vision. Like you'll get signs, you'll have information start to organize magically around you. The pathway will emerge before you. That's how I found fasting. That's how I found the power of juice fasting, is because I had a vision to be raw vegan. I wanted to be raw vegan, and I didn't care how I got there. I was going to go through the process regardless. Right. But juice fasting came into my awareness because I knew if I detoxed my gut, that I could get through the detox process, the transition to a healthier diet and lifestyle quicker. So for me, juice fasting for 40 days is just a way to speed up the process so I can get on to the real work, which is feeling freaking amazing, you know? So I always say this about juice fasting, about a 40-day juice fast. Okay, that's a proper gut detoxification journey right there. And what I always say is it is for one purpose and one purpose only, and that is to detox the bowels from all the waste and the accumulated sludge and mucus and biofilm and plaque. You got to get that out of the GI tract. And the only way to do that is stop eating food and drink fresh juices until you have no more stuff coming out of there. Just empty out the food tube. Do that one time, and now your body's all primed and prepped to go back to a better diet and lifestyle. So if you're addicted to hot dogs and pizza and ice cream, you do that 40-day juice fast, you have a little bit of willpower, make it through that process, clean out the food tube completely. Now all of a sudden, you're primed. Your body's ready to accept healthy foods. You've just flooded your entire cellular system with high hydration and minerals and electrolytes and enzymes from the juices. Your body's primed. Your body is, it's cut the ties with the gut addictions and the cooked food addictions, and the juices carry us through. The juices will show us the path. The juices do all the hard work for us. It's like we don't even have to know how. We just have to say yes to our vision, and then the detoxification process does all the hard work. So for somebody who loves their cooked food or their comfort food or their soul food or whatever, you don't have to give it up. You just actually have to focus on detoxification, and naturally your body will be like, oh yeah, that's not so good. That doesn't make me feel good when I eat like 500 calories of oil,
Right.
That's what
I mean, it's tough, man. It's tough. That's the number one question I get, is how you got so much discipline and how you able to stay on the fruits. But I want to ask you this before I get into something else real quick. I'm starting to work out and weight train. What's an easy way or a applicable way for me to, get some muscle built onto?
Oh yeah, Bobby, that's great. I know being muscular and strong is important in today's society, right? Like it's not very inspiring to be a man who's underweight. So if you're gonna be a raw vegan, that's not very inspiring. So if you're gonna be a health coach like me and talk about a plant-based diet and talk about a raw vegan diet, you got to have some muscle mass to you. So I'm about 185 pounds right now. And I fluctuate. Sometimes I'll bulk up, and I lift heavy and bulk up, and then I cut back down. And so I do the cycle of bulking and cutting. The bulking is where you're actually building muscle tissue in a calorie surplus. You eat a lot of food and you lift heavy weight. Okay. And then you put on a little body fat, and then you cut your calories back and you diet off some of that fat and you get lean. And that's the cycle. You bulk and then cut. Okay. So, but the key to putting on muscle is literally just body mechanics, learning how to lift. And lifting for hypertrophy is what it's called. Hypertrophy is a term used to talk about engaging the most muscle fiber. So if you're bench pressing, for instance, it's a certain amount of reps, like 10 to 12 reps engages the most muscle fiber. And that's called hypertrophy. So you train for hypertrophy ranges of reps, and then you eat food. You eat a lot of food, and that's all you do. The other thing that I'd say you focus on is maybe your macro balance, like how much protein, how much carbs, and how much fat are you getting? And to bust that myth of animal protein or high protein diets building muscle. It's not true. All you really need to do is focus on good quality amino acid rich foods. That can be greens and salads, even fruits, superfoods, are rich in amino acids. And you want to make sure you're still getting some proteins in your diet. Like I shoot for about 15% protein in my diet to build muscle, where the mainstream fitness narrative says to shoot for like 30% protein in your diet. And that is a disaster waiting to happen. It's toxic. That 30% of your calories from protein is going to create burden in your digestive system, acid waste buildup, kidney struggles, and kidney burden, and you will get toxic. You'll have health problems if you eat that much protein. So moderate to low amounts of protein, eat a lot of calories, and lift heavy weights.
Sound easy enough. I've been in there getting it in a little bit. I'm about to get a new regimen and start, going a little harder. But besides the weightlifting and stuff, we were talking a little earlier before we got on camera, and I wanted to get your opinion on some of the stuff like that I'll be posting. Like with your opinion on some of the conspiracy theories and shit that we going through right here. First of all, what you think going on right now with this Donald Trump distraction? You paying attention to that?
Oh yeah, you think him getting arrested or indicted?
Yeah.
Illegal stuff? Yeah, I mean, I think Trump is a powerful force. He's kind of a no BS kind of a boss dude, and he's a force to be reckoned with. So I think the liberals want to distract and come in and tell everybody that he's just a bad guy when Trump loves America. Okay, love Trump or hate Trump, Trump loves America. America's been good for the man, He's a capitalist and it's worked for him, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's a successful man in a successful country. America has the highest GDP of any country in the history of the world. We produce so much wealth and abundance for every member of society. It's up to us to claim the abundance that America has to offer. And I think Trump represents that. He represents a man who has made the most of the American system. And I'm personally inspired by that level of success, whether you like Trump's personality or not. And then I think it's threatening to a lot of people who look at the government as a way to get a handout. If you're looking for the government to fix your shit and support you and get a handout, then you're not in your own leadership. You're not a boss. You're an employee working for somebody else, hoping you get enough of a paycheck. I'm a boss. I work for myself. I have my whole life. So in that way, I'm much more aligned with Trump's ideologies and his belief systems on policy, especially financial policy, than I would be with Biden or the liberal kind of agenda. And I don't know, there's some whack stuff going on in the liberal side of things these days. I don't want to reveal my side of too much on the politics because it's I don't know, we're talking about health, but I don't like a lot of the way that our mainstream society tries to influence us. This goes for conservative, liberal, Republican, Democrat. We're really manipulated and divided. That's the bottom line. And the media divides us. CNN and Fox divides us. Republican versus Democrat. All of it divides us. When in reality, we're so powerful. The power is in the hands of the people. And if we could unite around health and vibrancy in our mind and our consciousness, that would be so powerful, it'd be ridiculous. We could have the most beautiful world. And I mean, if we stopped abusing animals, for one, if we stopped eating animals, the world would be incredible. And then if we stopped abusing each other, the world would be incredible. And there's so much abundance on this planet, so much resource, so much money for everybody. You just have to kind of step into it and claim it, So I am a big proponent. I absolutely advocate for stepping into personal leadership and personal success. Like, be an entrepreneur, start that business, get out of poverty mindset, claim your abundance, just do what it takes to create more, create something out of nothing. And this is what I've done. I didn't come from family money. I didn't come from any support. I have no support systems or backup systems in my life at all. And I'm very successful at what I do because I just am set on it, focused. I will not take anything less than pure success. I will not settle. And therefore, I'm in the driver's seat of my destiny. I will work diligently until I've created success, financial security, financial success. And it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what the politics are doing. I'm going to be successful, period. End of story. And, I think, back to Trump, I think Trump's a little bit like that. So I can respect that about the man,
Interesting. Not bad. So do you follow or are you aware of who Yaki Awakened is?
It sounds familiar. I'm not sure 100% though.
Well, he's an herbalist, master herbalist, got a big following in the community. And he came out with a lecture the other night. And he said there's a difference between the way so-called blacks are supposed to eat and the way so-called Caucasians are supposed to eat. Like, we're designed different.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any take on that?
Yeah, I think I saw something about that. In fact, I think my girlfriend just sent me a YouTube video about the theory of eating for our geographical locations. So like people in Asia will eat differently than people in Africa, will eat different than people in Canada or North America or whatever. And I think that's another form of complicating the issue, because if we look at the fundamentals, we are all exactly identical in the most fundamental way, which is that we are blood, lymph, and a bunch of cells. We're two fluids and a bunch of cells. So blood, regardless of what animal we are or what continent we live on, the blood brings the nutrition to the cell. Okay, the cell metabolizes the nutrition into energy. Okay, and then it excretes waste, and the lymphatic fluid removes the waste from the cell. Okay, that's how all living creatures function, species and geographically. Okay, so we want efficient nutrients to get through the blood into the cell and efficient elimination out of the cell. Now, cooked foods don't do that. Cooked foods actually are the opposite of efficiency. It creates burden and denatures the proteins, oxidizes the oils and fats. So we are creating a completely altered, molecularly altered substance entering the body, which inhibits the absorption of these nutrients. No enzymes to transport this into the cell, because that's the role of an enzyme, is to take these vital nutrients and even micronutrients, things that we don't even know about, into the cell, like the electrical particles in the food go into the cell, and then eliminate that waste effectively. Well, cooked foods don't do that, because cooked foods clog up the bowels and create pressure so that the lymphatic system can't even drain out. So that's why we gain weight. That's why we get health problems, autoimmune, all of these conditions, heart disease, diabetes, the number one killer in the world, heart disease, global killer number one is congestion in the body. That's all it is. Crap in the body. It's crap in the body. And so it doesn't matter what continent you live on. If you're eating cooked meat, you're creating so much waste in the body, So I think that theory of eat for your race or your geographical location is complete BS. Okay. However, if we live in Norway, it's going to be different than if we live in the tropics. There's no fruit in Norway. So we might have to eat differently simply out of a survival strategy, but who wants to be relying on beans and grains, that are dehydrated and can have these long shelf lives, when really we're designed to eat fresh, living foods and fruits. So if we choose to live in Norway, we're going to have health problems because of it. That's the bottom line. If we choose to live in Costa Rica, we're going to be like one of those little beach babies with looks good, feels good, high vibes. That's just what it is. We get to choose where we want to live. A lot of us are born into geographical locations and we take it for granted and we stay there our whole life. Not me. I was born in the Northeast in Pennsylvania outside of New York, but it's cold up there and I don't like it up there. So I lived in California for a while where there's tons of fresh food. And now I live in Austin, Texas, which is subtropical here, warm most of the year. Tons of fruits, access to fruit and fresh living foods is amazing here in Austin. So I'm going to go where the good food is. That's my goal. And I like to travel to tropical locations. When I go on vacation, I don't go to Europe because Europe's cold and there's no fruit in Europe. I go to the tropical locations, Bali, Costa Rica, equator type places, because that's, for me, that's the celebration. The celebration is fresh food, and where the food grows in abundance to fuel our body at the highest level, to create no digestive interference, no pressure in the bowels, optimal nutrient uptake into the cells. And that's what I consider to be a vacation.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it. Well, so if there's no difference in what we should eat, what's the difference in our design then? Like, what is it just simply a skin color? We should not be eating different foods or instructed to eat differently?
No,
No.
definitely not. No, the blood type diet's been completely debunked. Absolutely absurd. There's no reality to it whatsoever. Geographical diets would only be based on availability of fresh food. That's it. It has nothing to do with race or upbringing. You know what, though? People love to justify their cooked food diets and their junk food habits and their cooked meat habits. That's what it really comes down to. Cooked meat is a stimulant. It is addictive. It is so addictive. And people will do anything to go out of their way. They'll die to defend their addiction. And cooked meat, I would say, is a much, much more dangerous addiction than heroin or cocaine. Because heroin and cocaine is like, we're physically altered. We can possibly even overcome those addictions. It's almost impossible to overcome the addiction to cooked meat. Very few people make it out. What's the percentage of vegans on this planet? Very, very, very few. It's psychological. It's physiological. We're up against cultural traditions. We're up against this BS nonsense about that we have to eat like our ancestors did. It's complete nonsense. But what we are doing is we're justifying a horrendous diet that does not serve our health or our well-being on a consciousness level at all. And we're saying that for this reason, I got to do it. And for this reason, I got to do it. I got to eat that cooked meat. I got to eat it. And I'll find any way to justify it, when in reality, the real self-development, personal development to higher levels of health, success, spiritual fulfillment is to eat higher vibrational ways of food. No cooked oils. Just, here's the bottom line. This is what I tell people all the time. You want to feel better? You want to be healthier? Cut out cooked, heated fats and oils. Like, if you never heated up a fat, okay, what would you be left with? You're pretty much like 99% raw vegan just from that. Cut out cooked fat. If you cut out cooked fat, you've just eliminated your cooked meat. You've just eliminated all the pasteurized dairy products and cheese in the store. You just eliminated all the processed food with cooked oils in there. You've just eliminated pretty much 99% of what's in the grocery store by eliminating heated fat. What is heated fat? It's oxidized, molecularly altered lipids that congest the body and the blood and the bowels. If we just eat raw nuts and seeds, raw avocados, raw fat sources like olives, then our body knows exactly how to deal with it. It's in and out. It doesn't congest us. It's not oxidized. It's not molecularly altered, creates no damage, no free radical damage. I mean, I'm 50 years old. You want to see the result of no heated fats for many years of my life? This is what it looks like. And heated fats will just deteriorate the body. It deteriorates all of our vibrancy. Like, we can live like vibrantly healthy with strength and vitality well into old age. But you see these crippled, degenerative type old people, image with the guy hobbling on the cane and the gray hair and all that. That is just from toxins in the food. That is not normal. Okay. That is not normal. That is a shit diet. It creates that.
I say it all the time. I see old people walking around slow. Like, life do not have to be like that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to end up like that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going out like that. But before I let you go, right. Before I let you go, though, you say, you look young, you eating raw vegan, you know what I'm saying? You got your business going, you advising and coaching. What's the advice you could give somebody who out there who aspiring to change their life and become a boss, man?
Yeah. Okay. Accountability is number one. I mean, you want to know how to go from where you are struggling with money and health and all these things and not knowing how to get out of that to being highly successful, healthy, vibrant, have everything you ever wanted in life. It's accountability. There's the crab bucket analogy. And the crab bucket is who we spend the most time with. And we're going to have the exact same health and the exact same income as the 5 people we spend the most time with. So what we can do now, we have access to the whole world at our fingertips with the internet. We can intentionally choose crab buckets that are people we want to be like. So that's what I do. I surround myself with millionaires. I go to mastermind meetings with people who make $20 million a year so I can feel what it feels like to stand next to a millionaire that makes that much money. And you know what? That rubs off on me. I get the signature upgrade just by being around that person. I hear how they talk, how they think, and it affects the way I talk and the way I think. So we have to intentionally invest in a different influence of people around us. This is why I recommend for everyone that you join some sort of group, hire a coach, get accountability. My group coaching program, Raw Vegan Heroes, is for that purpose. It's an entire year's program for $89. I discount it so deep so anybody can afford it. And we have thousands of members. We actually have 2,000 members right now. We've had 4,000 people come through the group over the last 3 years, 2,000 active members. And this is a different crab bucket. So if you want to know how to detox, if you want to know how to be successful, you got to be around other people who are doing it successfully. And so in my Raw Vegan Heroes group, we have a Facebook forum, and everybody's posting recipes, meal ideas, updates, progress pictures, and you can see what other people are doing. That's powerful. Now, if you just are left to the default world, what are you going to see? You're going to see McDonald's and Burger King on every corner. You're going to see fat, obese people walking around on the streets and in Walmart. Who is influencing your mind? That's what I say. So if somebody wants direct help, join my group coaching program, Raw Vegan Heroes, for the direct help. That's all you got to do. I mean, I provide that for support for people. If there's a better one you know of, go join that one. But get help and support in a group. I make mine really easy, really fun, really affordable. I do a weekly Q&A live stream where every week I talk to all the members and I train on mindset principles, leadership principles, business principles, entrepreneurship principles, how to start a coaching business, how to get out of the matrix, how to heal your body, how to detox your gut. I talk about all these principles and I train on it. So someone in my membership is going to get the highest level of accountability and training possible. And this is because this is what I do. I surround myself with high-level entrepreneurs, high-level thinkers, and then I share that. And so this is how we share the success. Success leaves clues. If you want to be successful in your life, you surround yourself with other successful people, and you will pick up the clues. And then you follow the breadcrumb trail, and in a couple of years, you go from making, $1,500 a month, struggling to $15,000 a month, and you're on point in your life. And that's the way you do it.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love it, man. Well, that's all I really got for you today, man. I appreciate your time. You know what I'm saying? It was a pleasure having you on. You definitely inspire me. You know what I'm saying? I look at what you got going on, and it's definitely something like, if you do the right things, you eat the right foods, that's how you could be. So definitely, thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Bobby. Thanks for having me on. And I hope this message was helpful for whoever's listening. And if it reaches one person, that's why I'm here. I like to share the truth and the message of hope for people because I've been able to figure it out in my life and get out of the matrix and heal myself and be a better version of myself. And I hope that somebody else can have a little bit of inspiration too,
Facts. Blessings. Well, thank everybody for watching. And we're gonna get up out of here. I appreciate you, family.
All right.
Yes, sir.